means penetrates. So it goes deep into the soil, all the rainwater, okay. So it percolates into the soil. As the groundwater storage increases, trees get water. How do the trees get water? Because when it goes down deep into the soil, the roots can take or absorb that water. Wells also, to means also, get enough water and the land can be cultivated. तो आपका फसल उग सकता है कौन से पानी से? जो स्टोर किया हुआ है. बारिश का पानी तो आया, उस वक्त आपने चावल उगाया बारिश के दिनों में. बाद में नेक्स्ट क्रॉप, सेकेंड क्रॉप, दैट मीन्स द kharif crop is during rainy season. Rabi crop, how will you grow? So then you can take water from the wells. Several methods are used to make rainwater seep into the soil. Several means many different methods और अलग-अलग तरीके इस्तेमाल करते हैं. Large dams can be built, but that may not be possible in all places. Dam, धरण, कहीं कहीं पे बांधे जाते हैं. पंजाब हरियाणा is known for its very big dam, that is Bhakra Nangal Dam. Then in different places they have made Hirakud Dam and all. So we know that dams can be built, but in some places the rivers may not have that much flow of water, or in the northern area you'll always have full flow of water because it gets water twice. It is rain fed, that means बारिश के दिनों में बारिश उसमें भर जाता है, पानी भर जाता है. और गर्मी के दिनों में you'll find that the snow will melt from the Himalayas and all. The snow will melt and that will also keep flowing. So throughout the years the northern rivers like Brahmaputra, Ganga or even Yamuna will have water because they come from Gangotri, Yamunotri. So they are snow fed also. But in the southern part you'll find that sometimes rivers become absolutely dry. Then you have to depend on wells or groundwater. In that event, the government and the people come together to undertake several work such as building small reservoirs. Reservoirs are like tanks. That means once you build a dam, it will stop the water and it will create a reservoir. Contour bunding. Now what is contour bunding? Let us have a look at the picture. These you can see are called contour bunding or contour trenches. Okay, CCT is the short form. And with that, you can stop the water from flowing very fast. So you can see that instead of flowing directly, wherever they have cut or made these bunds, over there the water will stop and it will seep inside. Okay. Next, let us see how they have made a bund on a stream. It is not a very big dam. It is just to stop the water. So you can see here the water is stopped and then the water will collect over here, right? Then you have water which is stored in a tank, rainwater. Now from here on your roof, you have a slanting roof. All of that will collect in the channel. This will go down here. Down you will have same like how you have for filtration. Inside the ground you will put gravel and you will put sand, coarse sand, fine sand, and then the water which will collect inside will be clean. Or even outside if you want to do, you can store down also, you can store up also. So there will be plenty of water which will be stored. If it is open, this is closed, so no evaporation will take place and it will remain nice and clean and safe inside. Now making rainwater seep into the soil. Instead of going into that tank, here you can see it has been taken where it goes down. Here you can see the gravel all around, and under that you will have the different layers. This water will keep on collecting down and will form an aquifer. Aquifer means the ground water which is collected, and the excess water can be pumped from your well. So whenever you need, the water can be brought up. Have you understood how it is done? This way it is made to seep into the soil. So all these different methods can be used so that water will go deep into the soil and groundwater will be safe. That means it is rainwater which has collected. Now come back to your textbook. Have you understood how it percolates into the soil? And the groundwater storage increases and trees also will get water. Wells also will get water. Okay, so several methods are used for the rainwater to be collected or seep in the soil. Large dams can be built, but that may not be possible in all places. In that event, the government and the people come together to undertake several works as building smaller reservoirs, contour bunding, stopping the water by the smaller streams, we saw those small bunds, or bhandaras. Okay, so if you have been to Bhandardara in Maharashtra, there is a nice dam and they also make hydroelectricity. That means because of the flowing water, they can also use it for hydroelectricity. In your book, you can see the continuous contour trenches. In some places, wells are dug in river beds to allow water to collect in them. Rainwater falling on roofs of houses is drained into large tanks placed beside the building. Using all such methods helps us to store as much water as possible. So let us see which were the different methods that we used to collect water or allow it to go down. One, we used contours. Okay, we created contours on trenches. Second, we allowed water to seep down into the soil by allowing it to percolate. That means whatever flows off from your roof, that could go. Or we could stop the flow of the water, that is the river, from flowing and going away by creating a reservoir and building a dam or a bund. So in all these ways, we could collect water in wells or as groundwater. It is very important to use water carefully. How many of you, when you're brushing your teeth, the tap is on, it is just flowing? बहता रहता है ना जब आप दांत घिसते हैं? So you can close the water. You're wasting water otherwise. To stop rainwater from flowing away, to make it seep into the ground also is important, and same way whatever is flowing in your basin also is important. Don't just allow water to get wasted. Taking steps to ensure that rainwater will be available even in the period after the rainy season is called water management. What is water management? Please underline those lines. Taking steps to ensure that rainwater will be available even in the period after the rainy season is called water management. Have you underlined that? That is your answer. If they ask you what is water management, so you have a ready-made answer. Then, storing rainwater in tanks. We saw that picture. Here also you can see how it is stored in the tanks. Next picture you can see making rainwater seep into the soil. Now obtain information and discuss what methods of water management are being used in your surrounding. Okay, so you can write down the different methods if you want. Over there itself there is little space in your book, so you can write down the different methods. First one is contour bunding. The next method was building dams and reservoir and bhandaras or bunds also. Okay, so all these methods that we had. Obtain information about it. Always remember, life comes from water. Water is life. Use it judiciously. Judiciously means wisely. Think first before wasting water. Because today you have enough water, you waste it. But tomorrow then you will not have enough water. What have we learnt in this lesson? Let us see. When substances that are harmful for living things get mixed with water, it becomes polluted. So when you have clean water from the rain, as soon as it gets mixed with other things, it becomes polluted. Before wastewater is let into water bodies, it is processed in many ways so that it prevents pollution. You should not allow it to just go out directly. So normally it doesn't go directly from our drainage, that means from our bathrooms and toilets and all directly into the sea. There is some process done, same way from factories, and then it is allowed to go in the water. Before the water is supplied to the public, the dissolved and undissolved substances in it are separated at the waterworks. We saw the different ways that they do it. They use chlorination, oxygenation, all those different processes to do it. Then, if it does not rain for a long time, it leads to drought and famine. We can have both problems. There will be no water and no food also. So, when you say सूखा पड़ जाता है या भूखमरी, so both things can happen. Famine conditions affect humans as well as animals and plants of that region. Region यानी उस प्रांत के जो प्राणी है, झाड़ है, तो सभी मरेंगे. Water management means stopping or storing water or letting it percolate into the ground. That means it seeps deep into the ground to make it available even after the rainy season. Okay, so now we come to our exercises. First, let us see what is the solution. Soil in a garden gets washed away with the water due to the slope of the sand. Now, if it is sloping, what is the solution that you can do? Because it is sloping this way, what they do is they cut little paths. Even if you do terrace gardening this way, that means you cut it this way. So the water will remain here and it will go deep inside here. It will remain here and it will go deep inside here. But if it is a straight slope, it will just slide and go away. Okay. Second, use your brain power. How should roads and footpaths be built to make rainwater seep into the ground? Now, if everything is made of cement or you have pavers, then water cannot seep into the ground. If sometimes you have a little gap in the middle. Have you seen in some gardens they put pavers, but in between there is a little gap where you have little grass growing. From there water can seep inside and groundwater can be created. Now let us answer the following questions. Okay, let us look at the questions. The first question that you have in your textbook, that is, what conditions prevail during a famine? Let us write that. Should we write it on the board so you can take down the answer? Okay. So now let us write the answers. Okay, you take it down in your notebook. If you feel you can't write fast enough, then what you can do is you can pause and then you write it down. Okay. So answer number 1. The question was, what conditions prevail during a famine? That means what all happens when there is a famine. Okay. During a famine, the level of water decreases in wells, rivers, ponds, etc., creating a drought situation that means no water will be available. Okay. Animals, plants, trees, and humans face scarcity of water. Food and fodder is not available, nor is water, so all suffer from hardships. Okay, so all have to suffer a lot of difficulties. Question number 2. What works are undertaken to make water available even after the rainy season? So, we had already seen all the different things which were done. So, you can write this as answer number 2. Do you remember we had written what all is done to solve this problem? We have contour bunding, building dams and reservoirs, bunds and bhandara. So, all these will have water even after the rainy season is over. Next, question number 3. Why is it necessary to stop rain water? That means in the rainy season when it rains, why is it necessary to arrest water, harvest that water and store it? So, let us see answer number 3 now. It is necessary to stop and store rainwater as it rains only for 4 months while we need water throughout the year. The water should be allowed to percolate into the soil so that water will be available later. That means when it is not the rainy season. Later for irrigation of crops or for agriculture. Okay, so then it is necessary, and this way we can also stop having a drought or famine situation. We can thus avoid a drought or famine situation. Okay. Your next question, what is meant by water management? We had already marked it in your book. Had you all marked it? Taking steps to ensure that the rainwater will be available even after the rainy season is called water management. Okay, so that you had marked in your book itself. Now let us look at the next question. True or false? Correct the wrong statements. Okay. First one, we get rainwater throughout the year. False. We get rainwater only 4 months, normally from June to end of September. Then B, during a famine, the government moves people and animals temporarily to safe places. True. It's not permanently, but for that much time they take those people to a place where it is safe. In the sense, normally we say false because safe in the sense we evacuate them when there is a flood. But here they take them to a place where they can get water and food and fodder. Now, for activities, from your friends or elders or from newspapers, find out in which year a famine had occurred in our state and what measures were undertaken to tide over that period, and collect pictures of flowing water and stagnated water. Now, flowing water you'll find is always clean because it keeps flowing and the dirt also moves along with it. Stagnant water which remains in one place like ponds and lakes, you'll find always it will have more dirt collecting over there. That will be more polluted. If you have water hyacinth growing on top, then you'll find that that stagnant water won't even have fish living in it. All the oxygen will not be there for them, so the fish will also die in that polluted water. So we have to take care that we don't pollute our water. That is up to us. We can also take care not to waste water. We may not be able to collect water because you may be living in an apartment where it may not be possible, but at least you can take the trouble to not waste water. Save water. Every drop counts. When we say choti choti jal ki boonde sagar ko bhar deti hai, so we might feel that just few drops of water, if they go waste, why should we worry? Now how can you save water? Instead of having a shower, in case you have a bucket and bath, that means using a mug, you use less water. Instead of throwing water on your car to wash it, if you wipe it down with a wet cloth, you are using less water. Instead of watering your plants with the pipe, if you have a sprinkler system, you can use less water. So in many ways you can try to save water, because tomorrow we will have problem if we don't have enough clean drinking water. Water comes, there is plenty of water, and water, luckily, it's a cycle. That means water again gets evaporated, again we get rain the next year. But that is only next year. After 4 months, we generally face a problem. So we don't have to face a problem. So we do all these different methods of building dams or contours or trying to see that the water percolates into the soil. And that brings us to the end of our lesson.